Once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lanco's Clyde Martin Memorial Speedway, kicking off right now under the tower in the front straightaway here. It's the NRN Clyde Martin Memorial Speedway pre-race show. Scott Deal, Connor Allen, Rich Reinhardt, they'll be handling the pre-race show duties for us here. Once again, not over the PA, but come on over, say hi. They're going to have a bunch of special guests up here. What's going on, Scotty?
Thanks, Chris. Hey, why don't you give our listeners a little bit of a rundown of Clyde Martin Speedway? What we're ready to see here tonight? It's pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, ultimate badassery here. The closest you're going to find to Indiana high banks here in central Pennsylvania, that's for darn sure. Track's a 1/8 mile high bank little bull ring here in Newmanstown, Pennsylvania. And tonight we get the cars and stars of the USAC NOS Energy National Midget Tour, along with Hyper Racing PA 600 Speed Week, both concluding their week's worth of festivities. Should be a really, really good show tonight.
All right, Chris, thank you. We don't want to tie you up for the rest of your duties for tonight. You've got a lot of stuff going on.
That's right.
Yeah, you're running the TV broadcast portion of this, along with what else?
Yeah, we have, I'm the media relations director, so I have to go take care of all the media and the photographers that are here. The NRN live stream will go up for the 600 portion for qualifications, heat races, all the stuff for the 600s. If you want to see the midgets, you got to get on Flow Racing to do it. So flowracing.com. Otherwise, the NRN Facebook, YouTube, and the Clyde Martin pages, you can get all the 600 racing action tonight.
Absolutely great. Thank you very much.
All right, boys, enjoy it.
All right, thank you. All right, and I actually got him muted before he put his mic set down. That's pretty good.
Impressive.
Yeah, not too bad.
Finally getting the hang of this after all this.
Yeah, I think I am. You know, it might be worthwhile to kew going with this.
Might be a future in this, you think?
It might be.
Outstanding.
All right. I'm going to bring you up a little bit more, Rich. You're awful weak. I don't know what's wrong with you.
How about now?
You're perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right.
So, Connor, why don't you introduce who we got?
Our guest here, he's a driver for Tucker Boat Motorsports. He's a pit reporter for NBC, and he's the track record holder at Kokomo. Not a big deal. We got Dylan Welch.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Sure, it's our pleasure.
But you left out the best part. He's got a great show.
Yeah.
And rip the fence. And a nice truck.
Yes. I listen to podcasts. I'm on the road all week, and I listen to podcasts, and Rip the Fence is like the first one I make sure when the new one comes out I've got.
Well, that's good.
And I listen to it every week, sometimes twice.
I told these guys earlier this week that's why we started it, because we wanted people to have something to listen to rolling up and down the road and on their way to the racetrack, and so it's always good to hear when people are listening to it for its intended purpose, driving to the racetrack.
It's a great show. It's got a lot of great content in it. You get some great guests and some really good questions.
Thank you.
Yeah, you have some fantastic guests.
Yeah.
It's amazing who you guys get on, and you've got a cohort there that helps you out. Why don't you give him a plug right away?
Yeah, I probably should, or he'll be.
He'll be he'll be butthurt.
Tyler Burnett, my buddy who used to announce for USAC the year before I started announcing for USAC, and then we both ended up at the Motor Racing Network in Charlotte doing NASCAR stuff, and bonded, of course, over our love of sprint cars and the fact that we were both from the Midwest and now living in North Carolina where there is no sprint car racing. So, we decided that we may as well take our passion and kind of turn it into a show. And, I guess people have enjoyed listening to it because we're 104 episodes in now. So it's been a lot of fun, 2.5 year project that we still love doing each and every week and, get excited about doing. So it's been a lot of fun.
If you've never listened to Dylan's show before, I'll throw one name out there that they've had that I listened to. Some guy named Foyt was on one day. So it's a pretty legit program.
It is.
To have AJ on it.
Yeah.
So I think it's worth tuning in if you haven't.
And anybody that knows anything about sprint car racing, Jack Hewitt was on.
Yes.
Yeah. We've been lucky, through some of our connections and through the NASCAR industry and the IndyCar industry. It's maybe been a little bit, or I shouldn't say easy, but we've had guys like that a little bit more accessible than they would be maybe to somebody else who's trying to do the same show. So we've been fortunate that that we're both in a position where these guys are willing to come on and talk with us. So it's been a lot of fun, and we had a stretch there last summer where we had AJ and then Tony Stewart the next week, and then I think Larson the week after that. It was like, for us, it was like the trifecta. It was perfect.
Right.
So,
that's right.
And that's as big a thrill for us too. As interviewers to get to talk to those guys because we're fans. Obviously, we're fans of those guys. I ran 14 on my race cars for many years because of AJ. So it was cool for us. It is cool for us every time we get to talk to one of those guys.
Yeah.
Probably the best show the comical show was the one you had when you had Kevin Olson on.
That was
God,
that was
that
I think Dylan and Tyler said 5 words the entire thing. He just went on.
But that's the best because
you could have done 5 hours.
Yeah,
with him.
and we could have.
Yeah.
Now, that's what I find is one of the strangest characteristics about your show. You guys open that show up and you introduce the guests, and they just blow.
Yeah,
they just run on, and it's like, great, you get great information, but it's like, boy, I wish I could do that. I mean, they ask one question and introduce them, and that's it. They go.
And we, ideally, we try to pick guys that like to talk and tell their story, that are characters of the sport that people will enjoy listening to. Because, it's our show, but nobody wants to listen to us. Like, we have Kevin Olson on. Nobody wants to listen to us. They want to listen to Kevin Olson.
Absolutely.
So it's and I think, too, what's allowed us to, continue to have good conversations with these guys is that Tyler and I both kind of understand that, and we don't try to make it about him and I. It's not, it's our show. We're the hosts, but we're not the important ones, and we have Jack Hewitt or AJ Foyt or, Jimmy Sills or whoever it is. They're the ones that people want to listen to. So it's more fun for us to sit back and just kind of steer the conversation and let the guest kind of take it where they want it, and then we just ask questions from there.
Yeah. So let's shift gears. What about this whole thing coming east this year? This has been dodging the raindrops.
Yeah, it's been frustrating, obviously. And more so for me just because this is probably the only chance I'm going to get this year to race. So I was super excited to have a chance to run an entire week. I have an off weekend at the back of this week where I wasn't going to have to leave and travel and go somewhere to work. So I was going to get to run all 5 nights and was super excited about that. So obviously that didn't happen, but thankful still for the chance to be out here and just getting to race, even if it is twice. It's 2 times more than a lot of people get to race. So
absolutely.
Thankful for the opportunity regardless.
We were anxious to see you at Bridgeport, but that didn't come off. That was very disappointing. I was looking forward to that show for a long time. How about it, Connor?
Yeah, midgets were going to rip there.
Yeah, they were.
Going to be sick.
That was going to be sick. You're right.
How hard has it been in your limited starts to just hop in? You get arguably the best team in midget racing right now to hop into, but how hard is it against the national guys?
Well, and that certainly helps, right? Because, for me, the biggest thing, just because I don't have that many, I still don't have that many laps in a midget anyways, let alone if I was racing full time. But I have never really run a full season on dirt. So I'm automatically, just at a disadvantage. So having, Chad's cars be the cars that I'm driving is a huge help for me, just from a comfort level, because, Chad was a driver, obviously, so he knows what the car needs to do to be comfortable and to be able to, be driven hard. And so that's one less thing I have to worry about. Every time I'm on the racetrack, I'm not worrying about, we're going to be too free or we're going to be too tight. I've got to adjust this way. Like, the car is pretty much always perfect. And so I can just go out and focus on what I need to do, which is, keeping it between the walls and, not running into somebody. Like, I can go anywhere I want, really, and the car is going to be good. So that helps me a ton, just being able to jump back in it right away and know that that we're going to be in the ballpark, from a setup perspective. So that's been a huge thing for me, and it was honestly the biggest reason why last year, when we decided we wanted to run, a few more races, was the reason we went with Chad, because I just knew that we were going to be good every night, and it was just going to kind of be up to me to figure it out and go fast.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people don't know your background. They know you from the TV and all that, but you're not a bad driver. I saw you race on Saturday night in Tulsa, Oklahoma one time. So you made the A at the Chili Bowl. That's something to be pretty proud of.
Yeah, I am proud of that. I'm fortunate that throughout my career I've been in good stuff. Really from the start. When I started racing midgets, I was driving for Bob East and raced on the regional series. And my first year, driving a midget, I had the greatest chassis builder of all time, in my corner, kind of coaching me and telling me how to drive these things well. And then the first year I went and ran dirt, I was driving for Brian Clausen's team. So, obviously Brian wasn't at every race, but just to have him there, kind of paying attention to what I was doing and was obviously a huge help for me. And then obviously, coming to Chad's deal, it's the same thing. It's you even having a teammate like Chris Wyndham or Andrew this week who knows these racetracks so well. I've always just been fortunate that I've been able to surround myself with good people that have helped me, accomplish what I want to accomplish and what I know I can accomplish. So it's been fun. It's been a different career trajectory maybe than the traditional route, but it's been a lot of fun.
So you are a record holder at Kokomo yet, right?
I am. Yep.
Can you believe that?
No, I can't. No. That was the track for me. So I grew up in Indianapolis, or just north of there, and when I was growing up, I didn't get into like the dirt side even as a fan until much later. I was always going to IRP and watching, Thursday Night Thunder, midget sprint car silver crowns on the pavement. And that was my goal when I started to kind of go through the ranks. Is like I just wanted to race at IRP. I wanted to race the night before the 500. Ultimately wanted to run like a sprint car and silver crown. But midgets at IRP for me was like as far as my goals went. Mm-hmm. And then pavement midget racing kind of died, and so we had to transition to the dirt side. So I really was even kind of exposed to the dirt side really late. But Kokomo was the closest track to me, so that was always where I went. When we were going to dirt races, whether it was midget or sprint week, we just always went to Kokomo. So that place holds a special place in my heart, and to be able to go up there and that be the place I set a track record still to this day, over a year later, it amazes me that we were able to do that. So it's pretty cool.
You're from Carmel, right?
Carmel, yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, yep.
Yeah, for the East Coast we call it Carmel.
Yeah, there's a Carmel, California, but in Indy it's Carmel. Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
because I know you drive through there to get to Kokomo.
Yeah, you do. I mean, you literally drive right
That's
through.
That's how I go.
Yeah, you drive right up 31 there, and Carmel's right there. So
right.
Yeah.
Now pit reporting and stuff. You do IndyCar and NASCAR. Like, how much preparation does that take throughout the week to study up on these guys?
Yeah, it's a lot, and it's hard for me because I am doing a lot of different things. So you have to pay attention and be knowledgeable and kind of in the loop on all three. I do IMSA sports car stuff too. So and the NASCAR stuff is maybe a little easier because I've been embedded in that garage a little longer with my radio stuff. But the IndyCar and the sports car stuff on TV is really tough for me because I just don't know that many people. So and that's the biggest part of my job is just the connections in the garage and knowing, having a good enough relationship with a driver or a crew chief or a car chief or whoever to just be able to go up to him casually and have a conversation and get the information you need to do your job. So that's been an adjustment. It's been tough, but it's been a really enjoyable learning process, kind of getting to know that side of the sport and the people that are involved in that side of the sport. And I've enjoyed it. Obviously growing up in Indy, I was always more of an IndyCar fan than a NASCAR fan. So, for me, getting to go do IndyCar races is pretty cool.
Yeah, you had to pinch yourself when you got that headset on the first time, and
definitely
on the pit road, it was a little crazy.
Well, and like last year, I got to do stuff during the month of May at Indy, and that was literally a dream come true. As a racer, your goal I think is always Daytona or the Indy 500. For me, it was Indy. And once the dream as a racer kind of went away, the next dream became, working in Indianapolis 500. So I didn't get to do that last year, but just, got to work practice and qualifying and just being there and working an event on TV during the month of May. I mean, it was a total pinch yourself moment that I still am thankful for.
Do you find the NASCAR guys are easier to deal with, or the IndyCar guys are easier to deal with? They're about the same. They have their little nuances. And
each garage has their guys, right? That are nicer than others or more accommodating than others. So I don't know if across a broad spectrum if one is better than the other, but it really, it just comes down to getting to know the guys. It's like, when I've been around the NASCAR stuff for 5 or 6 years, so you just become familiar with each other. They start to get to know you get to know them.
Right.
You have more casual conversation. So it's just one of those things. It's kind of like racing. It's like the old seat time adage. You just have to be in the garage a little more and spend more time in there and get to know them. So it takes time, but that's why I'm thankful I've gotten to do it for a couple of years now because it's those relationships are starting to kind of come to fruition. So it's been good.
So coming back coming back east next year with the midget, you think? Or
I would like to. Yeah, my schedule I never really honestly know more than a couple months at a time. It's so hard. We have to raise money for every race we do. So if we don't raise the money, we don't go. So my dad, that's his second job is finding sponsorship for me to try to come race. So thankfully we had have some great partners obviously out here with iRacing and Toyota and Sundollar Restoration, which is a new partnership for us, but in a Carmel company actually. So. But it all comes down to just what we can raise and what works with my schedule and Chad's schedule as he continues to have more people want to come drive his cars.
Right.
It's
harder for him to keep that one tucked away for you, right?
The rooms at the end become a little more sparse. So hopefully we're going to try to go run out west maybe this year. At the end of this year, hopefully if those races happen, and then same thing for Chili Bowl, and then hopefully next year. I was really, like I said, excited about running out here and running these racetracks, and was thinking we were going to have a good week. So I'd love to come back out here next year if we can, and hopefully not bring the weather with us and get to race some.
So what was the experience like at Kutztown?
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, I'd been there before just as a fan, but I was a little apprehensive once Grandview got rained out because I didn't want Kutztown to be my first race back in 8 months because I figured it would go about like it went on Wednesday. So,
it wasn't that bad.
No, I mean it wasn't.
What happened?
We were fast. Yeah, I mean we were fast.
Yeah.
Just made a mistake in qualifying, and that is the kiss of death pretty much anymore in these midget races just with the format. And so had to win our heat race and just was driving too hard and made a mistake and spun out in the heat race, and then was in the back and got caught up in somebody else's mess, and I was just so mad at myself that I just pulled off because it wasn't even worth running 2 more laps out there in the back. So and then in the feature felt like again we had speed, just kind of couldn't go anywhere, and I struggled with the track the way it was, to kind of move around and figure out where I needed to be. So part of not having raced a car in 8 months, there's obviously a period where you got to knock the rust off. So feel good about tonight. This place is obviously super cool, and another place where you just got to be on the hammer all the time.
Absolutely.
So it's gonna be tough again, but hopefully we can get up the pylon a little more than we were on Wednesday.
Well, we know you like to pick early.
Yeah. I was thinking about that after you walked away. That's worked out terribly for me the last 2 nights because I drew a 73 at Kutztown and a 2 last night. So maybe if I draw later.
So you drew later last night?
I drew right at 4:30 again last night. Drew at the very front, which I don't want.
Good thing it didn't matter.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that like tonight, if I draw, I'm somewhere like more in the middle.
Okay.
But the draws so far have not been very good. So.
Well, we'll send you some mojo, hopefully,
please.
for being on the show.
Thank you.
You get some mojo from us.
Yeah, some good karma would be appreciated.
Okay.
Yes.
I think that's great.
Cool. Well, thanks for having me.
It's been a pleasure. I'm glad we finally got to talk because I've been listening to you for all this time.
Yeah.
No, it's been fun, and I'm it's cool. I get to do a lot of cool stuff. I've been pretty blessed that I don't have a really a 9-to-5 regular job. I get to do some cool stuff, go drive some cool race cars, and
when you do have to work, it's in a garage or in a booth.
Yeah,
it's like you are living the dream.
We've seen him at Indy. I saw him at Pocono last year.
Yeah.
This guy.
I do have a funny story about Dylan. My nephew's a big NASCAR guy. He's a dirt guy, but he follows NASCAR religiously. And you were doing an interview. You were racing somewhere in the midget. I think it was last year. And he said, well, that guy sounds like the guy on MRM. I guess it's because it is.
Yeah. It's weird for me. It's weird for me now to be interviewed.
Right.
Like it almost feels like awkward or uncomfortable for me to be the one that is like being asked questions because I'm just so used to being the one that's asking the questions. So it's kind of funny how that's changed.
So
for me.
if you set quick time tonight and they get you on the front stretch, are you going to interview yourself then?
See, everybody's always told me I need to do that, and I just haven't figured out how to do it yet.
Just kind of do the on one side and on the other side.
So maybe I want that to happen one day. So we'll see. Maybe
that's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're happy I've had the shoe on the other foot today, and we interview you for once, and keep doing what you're doing because we're enjoying it.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you, Dylan.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, Dylan Welch. You'll see him in that Tyler boat car, Tucker boat car later on this evening, and I'm glad we were able to hook up with him and have him on. And here's a gentleman.
Needs no introduction.
That needs no introduction.
No introduction at all.
We've had him.
If you don't know who this gentleman is, I suggest you take up golf. There, I said it.
Who are you talking about?
Tim Clausen, we're very proud to have you on, and you're no stranger to us, but every time's always a new interview, and we always learn something from you, so welcome.
I love coming here, love coming to this racetrack, love coming to PA. The fans are some of the best in the sport, and I love coming to this little place. The racing is spectacular. I mean, where else can you drive up the fence, down the fence, and still have a good finish like Logan did last year or whatever that was.
We're talking about Logan CV there, but go back and look at some video on YouTube if you missed that one. So this trip has been a little different, I would say, right?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like when we come to PA, it rains. I would think at some point the farmers would kick in and maybe up the purse for us for the races we do get to run. And but no, it's always fun to come here, and whether we get one night in or 2 nights in or every night in, it's just great to be here.
Yeah, well, we enjoy having you here. We went out chasing you last week out in Indiana, but you guys went off wing racing.
Yeah, we.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we've been looking at that for a while. My partner Richard Marshall and Ricky Stenhouse are partners on the SJM NOS Energy Drink team that Sheldon Hodenschild runs for. And so we get to pay attention to what's going on there with them, and we put together a deal to run Tyler, who's just showing up. Yeah, no, I know. No,
you are.
I'm saying, I was early, like always. You know me. So.
Yeah.
And so we put a deal together for Tyler to run Knoxville last year for the Nationals, and he hadn't been in a wing car for quite a while, and I mean, really went out, had great speed, was really competitive. And I was actually sitting in the suite with Jeff Gordon, who was there supporting David Gravel, and we got to talking, and he said something to me that just kind of resonated. He was like, Tim, if I'm going to reinvest back into short track racing, this wing deal is where it's at. He said, this reminds me of where NASCAR was in the 90s from the corporate level, that people are excited about it. It kind of, it's shifted away from those 3 and 4 hour races to those 2 hour nights, and always action, something going on. And we kind of looked at it from a company standpoint that, we had a USAC midget team that we won the championship with last year. 2018, we did the USAC Sprint Car. We won the championship that year. And we were kind of looking at a way to broaden our brand through motorsports. We got to do the Indy 500. Was that last year or the year before? Last year, I guess.
Yeah, last year.
It all runs together.
It does.
We're really not sure at this time.
Yeah, exactly. But so we kind of looked at the wing deal as if 2 or 3 years from now, that is truly where we're kind of trending towards a sport, that we could wait a couple years to get into that, or we could go ahead and get in now and get our feet wet, kind of see where we were, and kind of start building out our program. Slowly, with still being able to support all the USAC stuff that we love to do so much.
Yeah. So, welcome,
Thank
Sunshine.
You.
Tyler Courtney joining us. So, how did you feel about the wing deal being brought on board?
I think it was a group effort on the idea. As far as on the driver's side of it, I kind of feel like I've accomplished almost everything I wanted to accomplish on the USAC side of things, and going forward, it's not that I didn't want to be known as a USAC guy. I just want to be known as a really good race car driver. And to go do that, you got to start going to do the wing stuff too, and be good in everything that you drive. So, and to do that, we had to, you had to cut the ties with the USAC sprint car program at least full time, and just kind of take a leap and go do the wing stuff. And it's we started out with some speed, and that kind of made our decision a little bit. It seemed a little bit easier, and then obviously it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. We struggled a little bit here lately, but I think it's just all part of learning. Going back and forth and things like that, and and at the same time as a team, we're learning everything on the wing side as well. So it's been a group effort, learning-wise, to get going in the right direction. I feel like we're pretty close to putting a whole night together. Right now, we seem to just be missing a couple spots here and there, but I think we're right there of having a very competitive car night in and night out.
Good.
You guys you won the C main at Knoxville last year, didn't you?
Yep. Won the C main, and then I think we got like 17th or something in the B. So, which it doesn't sound like anything exciting, but you look at the 16 guys that finished in front of me in the B main. It's
I'll take that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not who finished behind you. It's who finished in front of you.
Like I was racing with Brian Brown, and he ran second there 3 years in a row at one point.
Multi-time champion.
Yeah. So it's just like. It's like I said, it doesn't sound like anything exciting, but when you sit back and actually think about it, you're still doing something pretty spectacular, and at all the while being not really being a full-time wing guy at the same time.
Right.
Well, Danny Dietrich seems to think you're going to get this wing thing and be pretty bad at it.
Yeah, I hope so. So obviously Danny's pretty good around these parts, and really when he travels out, he doesn't really slow down either. So. It's encouraging to have guys like Danny and other guys that are very supportive of my decision to go that way, and kind of help boost my confidence, let me know that I'm not doing a bad job, and makes my decision seem a little better than sticking it out here in the USAC ranks.
Are you getting any help from any of the wing teams?
So obviously we have some sort of relationship with
Sheldon
with the Stenhouse Junior Marshall team, with Rich and Jennifer being part owners in both teams. Ripper and Sheldon and those guys, they help us out when they can. They're not going to give us all their secrets, obviously, but no, they've all been pretty helpful, and I think as a team we're respected, throughout all of motorsports. So everybody's been not shy to reach out a hand or let us know if we're doing something wrong, or especially like drivers on my end, or like if they see us struggling a little bit with the car. That I feel like people have reached out and have been trying to help in any way they can.
So when this came down and the announcement was made that you're going to do some wing racing and stuff like that, there were some non-wing fans that freaked out.
Oh yeah,
right? Yeah.
Still.
I told
it was expected.
Why does Tim look right at me when he said that?
I told Tyler before the race. I said that before I saw him over the trailer. I said that to this day people are still saying, "Where was Sunshine?"
Yeah, right.
Like, okay, months ago they said they weren't running the whole schedule.
Yeah.
So.
It's and it really does bring up an interesting point, and I think in our sport, it's one thing that I think Brian taught me through all of his racing is that there come a point in time where he actually became, for lack of a better term, a brand for short track racing. Mm-hmm. And so there was a value to having Brian at a race, whether it's a midget race, a non-wing race, or the wing racing as he went. And it's been interesting to me as we've kind of made this swing a little bit. I'm seeing a lot of the same parallels where we have fans that that has swore they would never go watch a wing race, right? You watch them on their social media or internet and that, and we'll never support wing racing. And then when we made the announcement, they were some of the first ones to say, okay, now I have a reason to go wing racing. Right. So it's from our perspective as a company as a whole, it's nice to be able to to build our brand and not only bring non-wing races or fans to wing races, but then also have wing fans come and watch us when we do go to Knoxville for the Corn Belt Nationals, or when we come here, and and I think a lot of the drivers are starting to see that now. You're seeing more and more of them that'll kind of branch out of their comfort zone. The hardest thing these guys will ever do is exactly that: is step out of their comfort zone.
Right.
I know for him it's not easy, to go and run 12th. And I know him well enough. He comes in, I don't care what he's racing, he ain't happy running 12. And I'm looking at the whole process going, and I'll use Plymouth a couple weeks ago where, Kyle Larson's on his streak and he gets around to lap us, and all of a sudden we're keeping pace with him. And,
you ran right with him.
Ran right with him. Yeah. And, and I think Kyle even mentioned it in his interview, that, man, Sunshine was hard to pass. And not that he was all over, he just had good speed. And so from my perspective, overall, I love the process of it all.
Yeah.
I love being able to take this new team, and we're doing it a little bit different. It'd been really easy for us to just go mimic what the 17 car is doing. Right? Mm-hmm. They've got notes. Ripper and Sheldon have been really good about hey, if you guys need anything, knowledge, whatever, but we kind of wanted to do this our own way to grow it out. We wanted to figure out our own engine program. We wanted to figure out our own car program, and we've been partnered with CSI Shocks basically since day one. And they do, Garrett and his team, they're really well known in the midget ranks and the non-wing ranks. And the wing stuff is something that they really wanted to get into. And I said, look, while we're going through this learning process, let's learn together. And so probably a couple things we could do a little different to maybe have a little better speed, but I think long term it's going to work in our favor to kind of do it our way like we've been able to do everything else when we go racing.
Yeah.
So Wednesday you pretty much walked away with that one.
Yeah.
And you're second in points now, so I guess you think you got something for Chris here at the end of the year?
We just got to keep putting pressure on him. Having the unfortunate midget week that we did, kind of makes the rest of the year almost easier in a sense because you don't worry about the rest of it now. You just go win races and let the rest take care of itself. And the best thing or the worst thing you can do to a guy, I guess, is if you're winning almost every night out. At least I know as a driver that it knocks your confidence down. If all right, that guy's kicking my butt. So that's I think our plan here for the however many races we get to race the rest of 2020 here is just try and win them all. And like I said, let the rest take care of itself. I think at the same time too, we don't. Obviously, it'd be really nice to back up our championship, but we got our championship last year off our chest. So this year we can just go out and do our own thing. And we've hit on some stuff here lately that I think pretty much anywhere we go, I feel like we have the best race car. So when you go into places thinking that way, makes the night go a lot easier.
Let's change up a little bit and talk trucks.
All right.
Oh,
yeah. Unfortunately, this year got postponed till 2021. So
you were slated to be in one.
Yep. Us at Clausen Marshall had partnered up with Nice Motorsports, and we were going to run the truck race at Eldora. Unfortunately, due to COVID and those circumstances there in Ohio, we didn't get to do it this year. And hopefully everything plays out to where we get to do it next year. And it would have been obviously a great opportunity, and hopefully it still will be a great opportunity. And I think just getting to be a part of that and crossbreed our fans, even like we do with the wing and non-wing stuff, but bring short track, dirt track racing fans to the NASCAR world and things like that is always good for our sport. So, hopefully, like I said, we'll be able to be in the same situation to try and do that again next year. It usually makes it a little easier being during the week that it normally is. So, hopefully it does. And I think
there's something about the trucks right now you're getting a lot of cross fans there because you've got David Gravel.
Yeah, he just ran 10th yesterday.
Stuart Friesen, who's one of our modified guys, was in for the championship last year. A lot of people are crossing over.
Yep.
You were announced to run.
Yep.
And that okay. The way things are, that's when you have somebody you can pull for, it makes it that much better.
Yeah. Well, I think you saw it with, or you really still see it with Christopher, and when Kyle was there.
Yeah.
And if NASCAR doesn't realize that their fan base grew when those two drivers went down there, then they've got something wrong with them. But I know that my Twitter is a lot less of a NASCAR field now without Kyle and Christopher. They're struggling a little bit with their Cup Series stuff, but like when I see NASCAR Twitter on my Twitter, it's usually about a dirt guy. It's not anything about anything else really. So.
Yeah.
It is a great untapped resource that
they seem to miss out a little bit on, but it's their loss, unfortunately.
Yeah. So let's shift gears again. Let's talk a little bit about tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I've ran on the podium here twice. I think the last two times I've been here, I ran second and third or something like that. So, place that is kind of fits my style. It's fast. Usually ends up on the fence, and it's a fast pace. So. It's a place I like. We've had success here with Zeb and myself. So excited to get back. Hopefully qualify good, and we should be able to. I think we're always fast here. So
just good to get back in a car.
Yeah, just good to get back in a car. We've been sitting in a hotel for the last 4 nights, and get a little stir crazy.
Have you eaten anywhere good?
No, not really. Sheets. That's about it.
Oh no,
lost opportunity.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just tough. I mean, like yesterday, we sat at the track till 6, so we didn't. At that point, I was just going to the hotel and watch the World of Outlaw race and the midget race. So
you NOS guys are having a pretty good week.
Yeah, no, it's been great. Sheldon was bad fast once again last night, so hopefully they can get it done again. And I'm excited to get back in the race car. It's sun shining finally here in Pennsylvania. I think obviously the fans are going to be here tonight, and the action shouldn't be any bit of shortage tonight. So this place normally is good for a good midget race.
Yeah, we're looking very much forward to it. We wish you luck tonight. Put on a good show for us. How's that sound?
I will do my best. It will not be a lack of effort, I can promise you.
So, Tim, why don't you tell us a little bit of the future for the race team? What do you have any concrete plans that you can share with us?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think with our wing program, when we put that all together, I had a very deliberate way I wanted to do it. I wanted to run the first half of the season almost on a local type schedule with Attica and Fremont and the Fast Series, maybe a little Mao, just kind of get our feet under us. But with everything that's gone on, we got to a point where we just had to go race. And, we went to our first World of Outlaws show. We went to Knoxville first and ended up running third on I think it was their opening night. Went to Ozark, put it in the dash. So it kind of accelerated, where we were as a team.
Yeah.
And then with that, our expectation level goes up a little bit. And, we really kind of had a 3-year plan to hopefully be running with the All-Stars full-time with that program. If everything, keeps going the way it is, then you might, that we're going to obviously try to do that for next year with Sunshine. And, the only downfall for our company on that is when he goes full-time wing racing, I'd lose him as a full-time midget driver.
Yeah,
But we'll still get to run some of the big special events, and then we'll kind of we'll look at our midget program. One of the reasons that we keep that around and we build it is to give young drivers a chance. Zeb Wise being Tyler first, then Zeb, and now we're working with Cole Bodine,
right.
And we've had a few calls here in the last couple of weeks about some pretty talented kids that want to look at going that direction as well. And I think we're fortunate with Tyler and Zeb that we kind of show the midget deal lays a great foundation. Brian was the same way, that no matter what you want to do in motorsport, if you can wheel a midget up front, you can wheel about anything up front.
I'd have to agree with that.
Yeah, I think we all agree on that one. So any chance that we might see the wing car back in PA this year?
Yeah, actually, we, right now our scheduling is such that we schedule 2 weeks out. About halfway through that second week, I try to schedule the next 2 weeks out. But we do have Port Royal on our schedule for their big one.
Tusky.
Yeah, and we've talked about. If we're going to do the All-Star deal, I feel that even from a team, guys, it takes a while to get going at your tracks back here, right?
Yeah.
So if we can get back here and even run a weekend of weekly shows, then get some notes, and that'll put us further ahead for when we do decide to go.
The nice thing about the All-Stars is it's a very competitive and very professional series.
Yep, absolutely.
But you're not like Sheldon where you're running up and down the road constantly.
Yeah.
You get a weekend off, you run a couple races. It's pretty much local from Ohio.
Yeah, and
so
it would fit.
It's a nice series.
And it would fit us. We've kind of learned, when we put the deal together originally, my thought was, we usually run 60 races a year with our non-wing car. So it'll be easy. We'll just cut it back to 15 shows and then try to do, 40, 45 wing shows. I don't think I truly understood just adding that program as a whole, how difficult it would be. And so we were really fortunate. We had Jake Argo, who had, he was with CSI doing, basically as a shop manager, no shocks inside and out. So we actually brought him on board from the very beginning to go to the races with us and kind of crew chief the deal.
Yeah.
And we were able to, just last week, we hired on Jake full-time. And so we've got a dedicated person now that'll oversee our wing program. Somebody that understands we're going to grow with it, and he's as excited as anybody I've ever had come along to want to work on these things. So, and it leaves me free to keep doing our midget stuff, do the non-wing stuff when it fits, and
That's great. Yeah. I mean, that sounds like you guys are moving in the right direction, and we're excited to see what happens in the future. So,
and we get to see you more.
Yeah, and we get to see you more.
Maybe with the All-Stars, you'll come in here every couple months, every month or so.
That would be great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good luck tonight.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
We really appreciate you guys making yourselves available to come up here and chat for a few minutes.
And we'll see you in 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Yeah,
3
probably.
weeks.
Somewhere.
Yeah, for the SmackDown.
SmackDown.
Yeah, SmackDown.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Got to break the non-wing car out again.
Yeah. All right. Perfect.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Appreciate
Thanks.
it. Thank
Tim,
you.
Tyler, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure.
All right. Well, we went a couple of minutes over with that, but
That's okay. I'll allow that.
well,
That's a pretty high-speed guess there.
when Tim's around, you're always going to go over.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
So here we go.
Now this young man, he was on time.
He was on time. He was actually
he was on time.
He
He
was
was
actually early.
Yep.
So
We appreciate that, even though we ran over a little bit.
yeah. So what do you got here, buddy?
We got our Hyper Racing 600 Speed Week point leader right now, Damon Paul.
How's it going?
Winner at Greenwood Valley.
Snuggle up to the mic there a little bit more.
2 nights ago, he won at
How's that
Greenwood
sound?
Valley.
That's better.
Good? All right.
That's better.
Yeah, winner at Greenwood Valley.
You had to be disappointed that Bridgeport rained out. You won there a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to running that race because that's one of our best tracks this season, and running the Speed Week with only three races in it is kind of hard. Makes the points real close. It's real tough racing, and
Makes a bad night a lot bigger.
yeah, yep. And tonight this isn't really my favorite track here, so so it's gonna be a tough one. But we think we figured out something good to run here, so hopefully we'll have a good night here tonight.
Good. So a lot of rain.
Yeah, lots of rain.
That really gets you bummed out after you get so geared up to go do this whole deal for a week, and you sit watching the rain.
And you come from New York every night, don't you?
Yeah, but we brought our camper up this week, so we were staying at each track that we went to. But
So you're camping in the rain pretty much.
yeah, we camped in the rain pretty much. Yep. But it kind of sucked. I was really looking forward to running this whole week, but I'm happy we still get to run some of it. I know the midget guys, their week was cut really short, and I was looking forward to Path Valley too. The rain came and then the sun came right afterwards, and it wound up being sunny all night long after. So yeah.
Don't say that R word.
Oh yeah, bad news with that.
Yeah.
We don't need none of it tonight.
That thing happened in Path Valley, and it happened to Bridgeport.
Yeah, no one likes it. So, but yeah, we're just happy we get to run here today.
Yeah.
You've been a guy that won a slingshot championship at Kutztown. You transitioned to the 600s pretty fast compared to the other people, I guess, just hopping into 600s from even other micro divisions. Was there any similarities, I guess, or was it just you just were comfortable with the 600 right away?
Right after junior slingshots, I actually got into a speedster, and I ran a speedster for 2 or 3 seasons, and that wasn't really my cup of tea. I was only 13 when I started running it, so I was a little young yet. And then we moved into Stage 1 modifieds at Hamlin right after that, and then ran those for a season, and then hopped into 600 right after that. And I guess I picked it up off from the speedster, running wingless with that, going sideways and whatnot. But yeah, the slingshots they're really nothing like the 600s, and they're their own animal, But it wasn't much of it was a little bit of a learning curve, but not too much after running the speedster for a couple seasons.
I heard from a lot of people the Stage 1 mod, you can learn a lot by driving that. I mean, you can pick a lot of things up, throttle response, and it's got real suspension on it.
Yep. Yeah, they're pretty cool little cars, and that helped out a lot too. Pretty much everything come up to where I am now, because it all leads up to it. But the Stage 1 modified had some. It was like the next step up to like from a slingshot to like a real race car, I guess you could say, because it had all real suspension in it, and it helped me get my driving line down, get my points, my pickup points and stuff.
Right. But you can definitely tell if you make an adjustment, it changes things.
Yeah, you can definitely tell.
So here's a personal question. How old are you?
I just turned 19 today.
Today?
Yep, my birthday is today. Yep, thank you.
Let's win the Speed Week championship.
Oh my gosh!
That's what I'm hoping for.
Hey, we'll go have a beer. No, we can't.
No, we can't. Well, there'll be a big party. You're a camper, right?
Yeah, always. Yep, we're right up at the top of the hill over there.
All right. Can we show up?
Oh yeah, everybody, come on up. Yep.
All right. Man. So at 19, you've done a lot of racing already. You've been very fortunate.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. This is my 10th season. I think this is my 10th season going into it. So we've been doing it for quite a while. We've been fortunate. My dad, I got to thank it all to him because he's pretty much the backbone of my whole racing team. He pays for everything. He's really awesome, and we don't really got a lot of money to run the way we do, but we've been making it work out. So and we've been up front, always battling up front, first, second. So it's awesome being able to be competitive the way we are.
What do you got, Connor?
5 years from now, where would you want to be right now? Where would Damon Paul want to be racing? What would he want to be racing?
I would love to go up into the sprint cars, maybe 360s, 410s, or even midgets. They're awesome too. But we just got to keep running hard in the 600s and just keep winning races and keep winning championships, and just hopefully something will rise up, because they're running up in those classes is super expensive. So right now the 600s are affordable for us and what we can do, and we've been able to just stick with it and we can run 4 times, 3 times a week, and still be able to live back at home, and so it's just been good with the 600 deal, and we're just going to keep hoping for something to come up,
Yeah.
Yep.
But keep knocking on doors and keep pushing,
Just keep your name out there. That's the big thing.
Yep, that's the big thing.
Hey, you know what?
Winning the papers.
Winning championships helps that.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, it does, 100%. I won the U6SA points championship last year for the 600s, and I didn't even know I won, actually, until they posted something on Facebook, because we race for points, but we don't like to only race for points. We like to just go out there and try to win, because points racing gets super stressful when it comes down to crunch time, and and
I raced for a long time, and I can tell anybody, if you're just go out there to win.
Yep.
And the points will take care of themselves.
Yeah.
If you go out there and point race and count everything, you're going to be a wreck.
Yeah.
Whatever fun you're having is over.
Yep.
Just go out there and do your best every night and let the points fall where they are.
Exactly.
It's the best you can do.
Yeah, that's pretty much where we're at right now. I didn't think that I was going to be leading the Speed Week points this year, but we are. So that means I just got to go out and just do my best at every track that we show up at, and I'm feeling confident for today, because I think we found something pretty good. So hopefully tonight will be a good turnout for sure.
Big money up tonight too.
Yeah, big money. $5,000 for the win, and $3,000 I think for the Speed Week points championship.
That could help
out. It's a nice payday.
Yeah, that's a real nice payday.
There's modified tracks aren't paying close to that.
Oh yeah. That's another thing. The 600 class all across the country pays out really well for what it is. They got a couple.
They got great backing.
The whole month of July in Indiana, you could go to a race every weekend out there, and it was paying at least $8,000.
Yeah. Yep. That is the truth. 20,000 to win races, 10,000 to win races.
Crazy. Yeah. So when you said you wanted the next jump up, are all those divisions wingless? You want to do wingless?
I'm down for wingless. I'll race an asphalt car if that arises. I'm down to do anything.
He's open.
I'm open for anything. So but we don't run winged often, but we want to try running it a little bit more to try to get our feet wet in it a little bit better. Last season I got 2 wins with the wing on it, so we're not far off, but we definitely could dial it in a lot more with the wing on.
Well, the guys that were here before you, I'm sure you knew who they were.
Yeah.
they were talking about how they decided to do the wing thing.
Yeah.
And
it's definitely good to be diverse. Being able to run wingless fast, being able to run wing fast, and we're close to it. We're definitely close to it with the wing, but we just need to get a little bit more seat time with it.
And that's that. Like Tim even said, or Tyler said that. If you can win with a wing, without a wing, they mark you as you're a good driver.
Yeah.
You're not a good wing driver. You're non-wing. You're a good race driver.
Yep.
I always throw out there Billy Pouch.
Yeah.
Billy Pouch is a great driver.
He can drive anything.
Yep. He drove anything.
Drive anything and win it.
Yeah, Billy and his son.
And little
Billy's the same way.
Yep. And Timmy too. Buckwalter.
Timmy Buckwalter.
He can hop in
another
anything and drive pretty much anything.
Yep.
Those are the guys that I've always looked at. It's like, they can.
They are real racers.
They're race car drivers.
Yeah, they can hop in anything and pretty much just
a lot of guys can drive these things. Only a few people can race them.
Yep, that is the truth.
Yep. So did you pull a pill yet?
Yep, I pulled a 52.
How do you feel about that?
The way the points are formatted for this week, it seems it's a little confusing, but I think if they're splitting it up into flights again, then I'm just going to go out there, run as good of a time as I can, and it seems as if you don't really need to be the top point guy to be able to start up front in the feature, because I timed 7th at Greenwood, started 4th in the heat, won it, and I started 5th in the feature. So
are you adding the passing points there?
Yep, adding all the passing points and finishing points. But, we're just going to go out there, run our time trial wherever we're at, and just try to lay down a good lap. And it's not too crucial, it doesn't seem, to lay down a perfect lap, and just run a good lap, and then in our heat race, do good in the heat race, hopefully make our way to the front, and then same thing in the qualifier. Yep.
How long is your haul from Stony Point, New York to Kutztown on a Wednesday?
It's 2.5 hours without traffic. With traffic, it's probably a little closer to 3.
You're deep in modified country.
Yeah, I'm about 15, 20 minutes from Orange County.
Yep.
right up around there.
Yep. I had a friend of mine that lives up that way.
Yep. Yeah, we wanted to go into modified racing, but I just think the sprint cars are way cooler. Running sprints is
So do we.
the baddest drivers in the country race sprint car drivers.
I've done both, and I always tell everybody that modifieds are my wife, but sprints are my girlfriend.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Yep. Every Saturday night, I'm with the wife, but we sneak out.
We sneak out every now and again.
All right. Well, it's been great having you on.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me on.
And
we can lock up that championship tonight.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be awesome for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the next guy who's going to be on with us is going to be chasing you down now, Alex Bright.
Oh boy, where's he at? He's coming up soon.
Yeah, he's right here already.
Right there.
You know,
He's a passing master.
so yeah.
Alrighty.
Thanks, David.
Thank you very much.
Another man who needs no introduction.
Snuggle up to that mic, buddy.
Is that good?
That's
Good
better.
right
There you go. All right. So, Alex Bright, you're in striking distance.
It's going to take a little bit. Damon thinks this is my track, but I think he runs perfectly fine here. So I know it's going to be tough.
I think he was trying to put the psych job on everybody because he said, "This really isn't my track.
This isn't my track." And then next thing you know, he's sitting in second or third. Yeah. I know what you're doing, Damon. I see you down there.
So, how have you enjoyed this week so far? A little wet, eh?
Too wet.
Yeah.
Too much rain.
I just said we were talking to Tim Clausen yesterday. I said, it was hot and dry here for 2 months. It's like all of a sudden we just got hit.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking to Spridge, and I said, every time you come into town, you bring the rain.
Yeah.
So,
Boy, you know it. Yeah. Tim says the farmers should start paying us to come east,
The corn's grown a foot since they've got here.
So tell us about your teams.
Well, in the 600s, Hummer Motorsports, Rob Hummer and Kathy, they're a really great family, and they own Rodata Trucking and Excavating, and started up last year, and from there it's kind of blown up. We got
has.
Guys
went
got a
from
fleet.
2 cars to 4 cars now, and we got all 4 of them here tonight. Myself, Brendan, Jim Radney, and Ryan Timms from Oklahoma. So, we've all been obviously would have liked to run a little bit more this week, but the rain said otherwise to get tuned in for tonight. But if anything, I think this will fall right into Ryan's hands. I think he'll definitely run better here than anywhere else. So I'm looking forward to that. Brennan, he can be a threat anywhere he goes. I think it just depends on the day.
Yeah.
But and then Radney's very consistent, and I think depending on who he's at with the heat race or qualifier, he's a potential threat too. So we have a good fleet there with the 600s, and looking forward to tonight to see what happens. And then doing double duty tonight, so going to be running back and forth between the micro and the midget, running for the Seymours, Matt and Bobby. Can't thank them enough, and I miss being in a midget. I mean, they're fun.
Yeah. It looks like you were having fun at Kutztown there, right?
Yeah. No, Kutztown was good.
Won the heat.
Won the heat race, and then they're running decent there in the beginning of the feature, and then lost brakes a little bit, so that kind of hurt us some. I couldn't get the entry just like I would like to, and fell back a little bit to 11th there, but still not a bad outing since the last time I think I ran was Chili Bowl. So these, USAC drivers been running all year long, so first time back in a midget for me, I'll take that. But I'm definitely looking forward to tonight. This place owes me one.
There you go. Tell us why you feel that way. Go ahead.
I mean, as far as all the ARDC races go, I think I won all of them but one. And we've always had a good car here, and I grew up on this track, so I have a lot of laps here, and I feel like I just have it figured out. And then I think every time USAC comes to town and I jump in a midget here, I just the bad luck falls on me. The first year they came, I think I
got a flat.
Led until 6 to go and got a flat right rear. The following year, started 11th, was up to 5th, only a couple laps in, and broke a rocker. And then the following year after that, I don't even know where I started. Got up to 8th, got in a wreck, went to the back, got up to 9th, went to the back. and then came all the way up through and got second. I needed a couple more laps, but how much can you ask for when we're already running 40? So, but I just needed to not get caught up in a wreck. But no, we've been strong here. But at the same time, this will be, I guess, the second time here that I've been in a different car. So, but either way, they got a real sporty car, and I'm looking forward to it tonight. And I can't thank Billy and Matt and Bobby enough because I think we'll be fast here tonight, and I'm definitely looking forward to it.
That car you're with is kind of historic.
Yes,
Seymour's. They're
I guess
a long time.
They're known for their pavement achievements, and they have a lot of them. And but hopefully we can put them on the map for dirt tonight.
There you go.
Yep.
So
let's do it.
Let's do it. That would be nice.
I think the crowd here are pretty appreciative of an Alex Bright win.
Yeah.
Just thinking.
It would be a popular win.
I think it would.
Yeah. I'd like that.
Yep.
So
we invited to that party if it happens?
Oh yeah.
There you go.
We'll be here if we
Just
win
line
either
them up.
one. We're going to be.
I'm lining them up.
We'll have beer at the back of the trailer. I don't know if we have enough for everyone, but we have enough for ourselves. And,
it's only an hour ride home for me, so I can
I'll have to cut myself short a little bit. We got the USAC East Coast Sprint Car Race tomorrow at Sealands Grove.
Oh, we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Well, it'll be my debut. Every time I tried to bring it out so far, either the races got canceled or we had other prior arrangements to go run elsewhere with the micro with bigger money shows out in the Midwest. So, but either way, I'm definitely looking forward to tomorrow. So, we get a win here tonight. We're going to party, but we're going to can't stay here all night.
Yeah, you can't stay all night.
Have you ever turned a lap on Sealands Grove?
Ran there in a speedster. Okay. So, got a feeling these are going to be a little bit quicker.
A little bit faster.
Yeah.
Places
as if anything is slow there.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing's slow.
The water truck goes fast there.
Yeah,
yes.
That's true. So tell us about tomorrow. Yeah, you know, what team are you with? And
Hummer Motorsports again.
There you go.
We got a sprint car built for this year and put a 360 in it, and we're just gonna get our feet wet and see what happens. Took it out of practice twice so far this year, and everything went well right out of the gate. So definitely looking forward to that. I don't see us having any problems with how practice went. So I think it's just going to be a matter of me getting used to it and getting the car set up. I think that's going to be the biggest thing. I never really worked on a sprint car. I've ran 410 non-wing for Rick Kaler, the one USAC East Coast for the Eastern Storm, the 1 year. But other than that, I haven't been in a sprint car in 4 years now. So it's but it's just another race car, you know.
Yeah.
Another racetrack.
Just
get in.
That's victory lane.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be tough. You know, KTJ's came into town, and I'm not sure, is Brady Bacon running?
Blue's running tomorrow.
Blue's
got it.
Blue's
Yeah.
got it.
So it's not the normal, USAC East Coast
it's a unique
race.
situation.
It is unique.
But then on top of it, you have you guys that run up front with USAC East Coast with Steve Dravecki, and there's a couple other ones this year that were running good too. So,
but the better guys, the talent that you run against is only going to help you. I mean, you run all over the world. Let's say it, Australia. We'll consider that all over the world, right? So those trips have probably given you a lot of experience and stuff you can bring back, right?
I think so. I think it just helps as far as adapting quicker.
Yeah.
So I haven't ran a sprint car in a while, and I've only ran Sealands Grove once, but I think just running everything all over that it just helps when I go track to track to track.
Yeah.
Instead of needing 2 nights on the track to figure it out, I can kind of adapt to it fairly quick.
There's another guy here that's not too shabby at Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's 3 of them.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That's pretty good runs there in the building.
So you got concrete plans for Tulsa?
Not yet. It's still got to give Bondio a call and see what's going on there. I haven't talked to him yet, but we had a decent run going there last year. Just fortunately, tons of cautions, and we ended up running out of fuel on the prelim night. So once you get buried there,
it's hard.
Makes it tough.
It's tough.
Yeah, it really does.
So you almost have to do good right away, and we were on the path to doing that, but stuff happens.
Yeah,
so
your preliminary, if you're not in the top 6 of your prelims anymore, especially going to all these nights now,
it just makes it too tough.
Because the biggest thing I started going in '98, and watching Blaney come from like the I
Yeah. When's the last time that happened?
It's almost with a level of talent now. It's spread through the field and the number of cars. It's so difficult.
Yes,
it's so difficult.
If you're in the C, it's like
if you're in the C,
over.
you've got and the C is like a feature anywhere else in the country.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh no,
all the way back to like the E.
Yeah,
at least.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, you look at the E's and the people in there like, wow, who's in this? Wow.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just so tough now.
So what about plans for the rest of the year here? Of course, you're going to finish out the deal at Kutztown, and then from there, what do you got?
Yeah, we'll finish up at Kutztown, and then we're going to have one more, I think, or a couple more big micro races. We're headed out to SIR at the end of the month here.
Oh, okay.
For the Terry Sprague Memorial, and then they have, I don't know if they're still doing the big Bridgeport race.
Skyscraper,
so we'll be at that. And Millbridge for the TRD Showdown.
Mm-hmm.
So looking forward to all those in the micro. And then other than that, we're going to just try to run as many USAC East Coast races as we can. I don't think there's any more scheduling conflicts there, but I know they're still trying to add in races too. So
okay.
We'll see what happens. But either way, we're going to race as much as we can. I'm going to try to finish out the year strong with the micros, and hopefully we can concentrate on the sprint car next year.
Oh, that's great. That's good news.
Good.
I'm happy to see that 360 division grow.
Yeah.
I was really happy. It's getting a lot of traction now.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely pumped about that. Like I said, we've been meaning to come to a couple of just every one of this COVID deal messes it up. So.
Yeah. Well, we want you to stay safe through this COVID deal, all right, and win races, all right.
Yeah.
So you've been on with us, so you can get a little bit of mojo, right?
Got the mojo back again.
Fellow Montgomery County resident.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So
or Montco,
Collegeville, right?
Collegeville.
There you go. So it's been a pleasure as always.
Thanks for having me on.
Keep the shiny side up tonight. How's that?
I like it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alex. Good luck.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you, guys.
All right. It was nice. We had a good set of guests.
Nice diverse set of guests.
Looks like we got
a special guest.
We got a special guest coming on here. Why don't you introduce
mystery guest?
Yeah, why don't you introduce the mystery guest?
I'd say guest. I don't know about special.
This is Mr. Rob Klepper.
So you should know the voice if you're on Flow Racing as I am. You know who we have here.
Try it again.
The voice of Flow Racing, Mr. Rob Klepper.
How you guys doing?
Welcome.
How are you doing?
It's been, a few days since I saw you over there in Indiana, right?
Yeah.
That was a great trip.
Yeah, you had to remind us of that.
I don't know. Maybe we'll blame you guys for bringing the rain back to PA. But,
how's it feel coming here?
Yeah, sitting on your butt.
Yeah, just so you know,
kind of a bummer
we've been hot and dry for about 2 months.
Right until this week, yeah. So it's our fault.
Yeah. So
I'll take the blame.
Okay. All right, we're all good with that. Yeah. Yeah. So what do you do when this stuff rains out and you're all geared up, ready to go?
I just prepare for the next night. You know, it seemed like with the show we do now on Flow, we kind of run it like a live TV show. So I'm building pre-race shows and graphics and different things to add. And when something doesn't happen, then you just transfer a lot of things over to the next one and figure out how we're going to do pre-race and who we're going to talk to and how the night's going to go. So a little bit of work. Sitting in the hotel watching it rain outside.
Yeah. So this guy wants to sit in your seat someday.
I guess so.
No problem.
That was too quick.
I won't be there forever.
It's kind of quick.
No. It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun doing the Flow broadcast this year. I'm not on the house mic anymore. I call it from the van. So. It allows us to do a lot of different things on the broadcast, from graphics and interviews and picture-in-picture and run commercials and different things we can do because we're not really tied to the house. So it's really opened things up.
You do a fantastic job.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
I tell everybody, I have all my friends now in Flow Racing. It's the best $150 you're going to spend.
We both got it now. You can't. You got Flow Racing 24/7.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
It's great. I have a bar in my basement and my recliner, and my wife's like, she hasn't seen me in 3 months.
Yeah, it's
so that was your free advertising,
right? Yes, for Flow. No, it's.
I'll be looking for my.
I don't want to say it's the best kept secret because it's not really a secret, but I mean it's a great deal.
It is
for $150 for the year, especially now with the All Stars on there and IRA and as much stuff as we're doing.
Weekly tracks.
Weekly tracks that are transferring over, and they acquired Speed Shift, which opens up a lot of different things there. And then forget if you're a stick and ball fan, they also have the Flow Sports stuff too. You can watch a lot of different things from wrestling to softball or whatever.
Ice hockey.
Yeah.
So bowling.
I'm sure. Yeah. So it's pretty impressive what they've done in a short period of time, and I don't think they got into racing really till the end of 18, beginning of 19. So it's really kind of exploded.
It's got to be a big piece to their business now.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I mean, and we just keep trying to elevate our show and try and be the leader of things. Or if we try and come up with a good idea and go, we'll see if we can pull this off. And if we pull it off, see if anybody notices, and then see if anybody tries to copy it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun.
I don't really relish your situation because I love it and I've been around it for 55 years now, but sprint car racing, midget racing is not really conducive to live TV.
It can be tough.
It can be tough at
especially
times.
when you're relying on internet service and cell cards
and there's
downtime
CPUs
So that's what by separating it from the house, we're able to do things during that downtime.
But you keep people entertained.
Yeah.
You keep, with the things you have up there, and it's you do a great job. And
appreciate that.
And I'm not just saying that because I want a free shirt or anything like that.
If I had a free shirt, I'd give it to you.
That's okay. But I think it's a great thing. I mean, I've probably my subscription has paid for itself.
Yeah.
If I'd counted the racing
in 1 week.
Easy.
Yeah.
It's
midget week paid for itself.
Yeah, I can't imagine anyone that would complain about the $150 for a year. I mean, it's basically free.
We'll spend that in a restaurant.
They do so much, and you get so much out of it. I think it's affordably priced, obviously, but it's well worth it for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
it's a good deal, especially with the All-Star sprinkled in there, so you get a good mix.
Do you get like promoters complaining about Flow Racing's taking people out of my stands and stuff? Is that like an archaic way of thinking of this?
I think so. In fact, and I mean, they don't complain to me personally. Back when I was with the All-Stars, I started traveling with them in 2003. And I think it was 2004, Guy Webb, who owned them at the time. That was kind of the infancy of internet streaming, basically audio, no video at that point. And we started simulcasting the races, audio only, basically like a radio situation. And you would hear promoters say that then because people can sit home, they can listen to it for, I think it was free.
Yeah.
And, it's going to keep them from coming to the track. And I always thought, well, the idea of the show streaming out is to entice people to come to your track. It's kind of just a big promotion to say, hey, how excited were the racing? How exciting was the racing here tonight at Lanco's? You need to come out and support the track because they put on a good show here.
We do this every Saturday.
Yeah, every Saturday. So that, to me, that's how I view it. Is it's basically just a big promotion for each track that we go to. Right. Obviously, the series and USAC events and all that as well. But to sit people at home, I mean, I see people on Twitter be like, "Yeah, this is my first Flow Racing event. It's pretty awesome what these midgets are," and they won't know what midgets are, but they just happen to be watching.
That's another thing.
That's impressive to me.
The check-ins,
right?
I'm like. Oh, Dave Darren's watching tonight.
Yeah,
I'm like, wow.
Yeah, yeah. Internet providing, I can look at social media, throughout the night. So it gets people involved. They'll ask a question or they'll make a comment, and then I'll make it back to them, and then and sometimes we're able to put tweets or Instagram posts on the screen, and to get people involved in the show, and again to try and if they see a good show at the Kokomo Smackdown, hey, maybe next year we'll take vacation, we'll go to Kokomo.
All the buzz with the Houston's reopening. What was it, last weekend? That was a great show on Flow Racing. It was an awesome race, and everybody's talking about Houston's again now.
Right, yeah. So
it's going to make people go. It's got to make people go.
I've said for years, you can do as the best show you can. It can be the best race that you just saw last night on Flow, but it's not the same as being here. No. I'd like it to be the same as being here, and we're trying to bring that experience to you sitting at home. But I mean, there's you sit down in turn one at Terre Haute during Sprint Week. I mean, you can't really replicate that. What that's like to see those guys come flying in there.
Yeah, that's I lived by Grandview, about 5 minutes from Grandview, and I pretty much lived in central Pennsylvania the last couple of months with Speed Week, and then with the All Stars coming in.
Right.
And we were talking about one day. It's like a lot of people don't like it, but I'm in a grandstand. I'm watching a race at Grandview, and I've got the USAC's midget show on my phone.
On your phone, right.
Or I left the track one night, and I listened to the All-Star race. I did it on my Bluetooth through my Explorer.
On the way home.
And I had radio and listened to the All-Star race.
With a 2-hour red flag, and you could hear people freaking out about the Port Royal race.
Yeah.
Watching it.
I mean, it's like not, it's taken away. It's like it actually it enhances your.
Right.
I can't get to Indiana. I wish I lived in Indiana. But unfortunately, my job says no. But I can't go to Indiana, but I can watch you. And my wife says no, But I can watch what's going on there, which is huge.
I mean, in today's world with social media and things are so quick, highlights get uploaded, 10 seconds after the race.
Somebody crosses Sunshine wins, Kutztown, 10 seconds after. He wasn't even in the second turn yet.
It makes the world smaller for the racing community. I mean, before, okay. This is way before you were born. I had to wait for the racing paper to come out to figure out who the heck
we lived on. If you grew up here, you had Ariata Racing News,
and
Gator.
Speed Sport,
and Gator, Yeah.
Well, even when my brother ran midgets, and what first initially brought us back to Indiana, and you'd be running a midget race somewhere, whether it was USAC or Neymar's, or you're up at Angel Park running, or Mara midgets back in the day, and it's USAC race. Is the sprint cars done yet? I don't know. And you'd call, and you'd hear Dick Jordan reporting for USAC tonight. Tracy Hines wins the third. Oh, hey, Hines won. And then he'd run down the list, and you go, Tony was second, Dave ran fourth. Okay, cool. And that's how you found out.
And this is Dick Jordan. Thank you for calling.
Thank you for calling USAC. I did it one time because I traveled with him a lot. My first kind of tenure with USAC was at 06 to 2010, and he would always be on the computer and he'd call as we were driving back. And for some reason, one day he was all done with his stuff. The only thing I had left to do was make the call. And he gets in the car, and I jump in
from a payphone.
We had cell phones at this time.
All right.
And I was sitting passenger seat, and he goes, "Hey, can you go ahead and call the hotline?" And I'm like, "Oh, I mean that's like an honor, right?" So he hands me the sheet, and of course, having called it for so many years back in the late '90s, I kind of had an idea how he did it. Right. Thank you for calling USAC. And I kind of did it. And he goes, "If you mess up, just hit like *8, and then it'll restart, and you do it again." I did it when I messed it up. I hit the thing, and it started again. Did it the second time, and I was like, "Hey, that was kind of cool. I got to do it once. Never let me do it again."
You got to do it.
But I did do it one time. So
you can put in the resume.
Yeah, yeah. This is Rob Clipper reporting.
That is pretty. So that's an honor, though.
Yeah, it was cool, and I think he was like, "Oh, sounds good, hell of a deal." He would say, "Hell of a deal,
hell of a deal,
hell of a deal," and then he took the paper back, and that was it. So
that's
all right.
A hell of a deal.
Tell us what your favorite PA racetrack is. You got one? Or is that too tough of a question?
That's a tough question because we I've been to the Grove with the All Stars and we took Silver Crown there and I mean I'm a bull ring I'm a midget guy. That's what we race. So I'm partial to the 4 cylinders and I like the small tracks. So here, Kutztown, was it Linda's? We were at last year. Any of those I would bull rings, like legit bull rings to me are the cool ones for me. I don't the half miles are cool and that, but I like to back it in the corner and see what happens.
Well, that Bridgeport Speedway, we really would have wished you got a chance to do that deal. I would have loved to hear what your impressions are with that because that's our new favorite. I think it's got great action.
Never seen modified racing like that.
Yeah, when those big heavy modifieds are 3-4 abreast and shooting off the top and shooting the gap,
if modifieds can make moves like that, other divisions are just going to be crazy. You know? So we can't wait till we get a little bit more exposure for that track, see what it can produce. But
it's certainly a bummer with Mother Nature this week.
She's not been very.
I was telling someone it's kind of turned into Eastern Midget Weekend. Yeah, because we're going to end up.
Well, we went to Indiana Sprint Day. So.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Same thing.
They drove 11 hours for ice cream.
Yeah. So that's good ice cream though.
And it was worth it. Excellent. And 4 heat races.
Lincoln Park Speedway popcorn's pretty good. So
it was.
It's worth it for sure.
I'm making the pilgrimage again in a couple weeks to Kokomo, which is my favorite Indiana track.
Right. Yeah.
No probably tell anybody that. That's my favorite
Indiana's baddest bull ring right there.
It's a good place.
It is.
Yeah. The whole deal. I take somebody new every time I go. So I'm taking one of my old drivers, and We'll go to the Half Moon. We'll do the whole thing. We'll go to the Speedway and do the Kiss the Bricks.
Yep.
And we'll stop by Clausen Marshall and some of the shops.
Right.
And I said, just wait till you see how these guys run this place.
It's I've never seen a bad race there.
No,
ever. Heat races, semis, it doesn't matter.
I took my 29-year-old nephew.
Doesn't matter.
My 29-year-old nephew a couple of years ago. I took him. He'd never seen a non-wing sprint car, and he's used to going to Grove and going to Port Royal. And after the first warm-ups, he kind of looked at me and he's like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah.
I was like,
as we say,
wait, there's 24 out there.
Yeah.
As we say, you get wrecked.
Yeah. You get ruined for life.
You get ruined for life.
You get ruined.
Yeah. So
we're spoiled over in the Hoosier State.
You are, and you know what? And I don't think Indiana folk really realize that.
Well, I mean, it's if you're a Posse fan here, obviously you're, and I'm there wanting to be.
You want to do this,
right?
Yeah.
So it's the same kind of thing.
We can trade if you want.
Well, we'll trade.
But there's not much to be said for 6 tracks within an hour of the city, and then they're all off the chart. So
now you come from a racing family.
I do. My brother ran midgets and sprint cars, but he didn't really start start racing until he was 16, so we didn't really grow up around the sport.
Right.
Being from California, when we moved back here, they were like, "Oh man, you must have went to Ascot, and what was that like?" I'm like, I never went to Ascot. I was playing football, baseball, basketball my whole life, and then my brother started to race go-karts and kind of worked his way up to midget. So we kind of started a lot later than most kids these days. 5 years old and quarter midget. So. But yeah, we used to go out to watch the Outlaws when they came through town and different the old super modifieds on the pavement there in Central California. But
Danny
Drynan, yeah, we had a Drynan midget. We built one of his cars when we were full time with USAC, and which is a heck of a race car. You got to be pretty smart to work on it. So we would lean on him quite a bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, no, good stuff.
So let's change the subject a little bit and talk about tonight's racing. This is going to be a little wild, I think.
I think so. I think these guys are, this year at the midgets, there's a lot of young guns.
Yeah.
And they're very aggressive. And they stand on the hammer, you know, and that's what makes it exciting, guys like Kenna McIntosh and Dazen Persley and even Kaylee Bryson, who's not here on this tour, but these young kids, man, they gas these things up and get after it, so that kind of elevates the level of everybody else, knowing that they can't fool around, that every pass counts, every point counts. So it makes for good stuff.
Pretty much every kind of open wheel sprint car racing is pretty healthy right now.
It is.
No matter what discipline you
car
have.
Counts have been really
pretty
good.
Healthy.
Crowds have been good. So right now it's a good thing going on. If, forget the year we're having with the pandemic and whatnot, but it's been pretty good every year, everywhere we've gone.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, we'll let you get back to your homework.
I appreciate you letting me hang by and come by and hang out. We're getting ready to go. We're going to go live on Flow. I think we're about 8 minutes now. So, we're getting ready for our pre-race show and then
it was a pleasure actually
kick off
get a chance
tonight.
to talk to you for a change.
Well, I appreciate that. Right? Yeah. I could see where listening to me would be annoying.
No, not at all.
My wife says it. It could be enough. So my kids won't even watch Flow. I can't get them to watch it.
How long have you been married? How long have you been married?
7 years.
Oh no, I'm at 27. You just turn it off.
Yeah. I'll say, guys, you want to watch Daddy on the Flow? No, they're playing the Kindle. They don't care. I'm like, well, it's what pays for this house and stuff.
My wife,
they don't care.
She'll come downstairs at like 10:30. What are you doing? I was like, I'm watching 410s at Placerville.
Right, yeah. She's like, great. I don't even know what that means. See ya.
Whatever, yeah.
No, good stuff. You guys do a good job, and thanks for having me by. And enjoy the show. It's going to be fun.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Take
Good
care.
luck tonight.
Okay, thank you.
All right, folks. I think we're about to wrap this up.
Yep.
I guess we will.
Yeah.
Watch the best race in PA.
Chris wants to come on, chat us up a little bit. What headset do you want? Okay, go ahead.
So, how was the show, first and foremost?
I thought
you guys look busy.
It was a cavalcade of stardom, I would say.
You know what?
Wow. Yeah, all kinds of great people.
The guys actually can't. We're not going to chase you guys. You got to come up on your own.
Yep.
Okay, and everybody did. Can you imagine?
Early.
When does that happen?
I don't know.
For once, it wasn't a catastrophe.
Well, it was funny because Tim Clausen was early as usual.
Yeah.
And Sunshine comes walking up and he points his phone. He goes, "I'm on time."
That's awesome. Well, here, we'll let you guys break the big news here. We have not announced this to anybody yet. In fact, we haven't even announced it here.
Everybody stand by here.
We acquired and will be opening for next season NRN.TV, full pay-per-view subscription-based service. If you want your favorite racetrack live streamed, make sure you head on over to nationalracingnetwork.com. Let us know, or NRN.TV for whatever we're going to call this show going forward. That'll be the new home of it, and a whole lot of other stuff. The No Consolation Show on Thursday nights. We're going big. We're taking on the big guys in the world here now.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, this one's going to be pretty cool.
This sounds like it could be a lot of fun, but a lot of work. But you're looking for racetracks to sign up.
That's
now.
it.
Now, we just talked to Flow Racing and how that started. Now we're taking it up another level.
We're going down.
Well, we're down
14 level. Get under the table here. You'll find about where we are.
Well, Chris, work with me here.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, onward and upward. That's how they say it.
I'm a salesman.
Right?
That's how I pay for my house.
Great. We're hiring.
Yeah. I work cheap. Just give me a pit pass and a hamburger, and I'm in.
So again,
he's cheaper than the camera crew out there.
Just remember, this whole thing started with Timmy Rutherford calling a car a whoop-de-whoop at Bridgeport.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's right. And left side loving, right side romance. You may even hear a little bit. That's right. You may even hear a bit of that out here tonight. Oh my goodness! And actually, if you guys are in, we're doing it again at Airport come November. The Battle at the Bull Ring 100. got a few more weeks of racing here at Lanco. Actually, about 8 more weeks. We're going to wrap up here September 26th, and then we're off for about a month until the Battle of the Bull Ring down there at Airport.
Wow. Well, if you want an idiot parade, we'll provide it.
Yeah. That sounds like about everything we do around some of these places.
What's sad is, I know Airport, the racing's great, and the first thing I thought, boy, the food's good there.
Yes.
And now the TV will be good there.
Now the TV.
I was going to say, the TV was good last year. I would imagine we can make it more of a train wreck this season.
Yeah.
And, who knows? Noodles with Talent may be running in that thing for all we know.
Oh, my gosh.
After he picked up a 600 win this past week. So we'll take it.
Oh, gosh.
So anyway, thank you. I wanted to come on here to thank you guys for coming out here tonight, because you've been an integral part of the pre-race festivities here at the Clyde over the last couple of years. And, man, come back again next year, too. Get out here more, for that matter.
Yeah, we enjoy doing this.
We should.
Yeah, it was.
We got to get out here on a.
Yeah, we should more on a semi-regular
Labor
basis.
Day thing still.
I like going to different tracks.
Yeah, Labor Day is going to be a big show. We've got a cornhole tournament out here on Friday night. A whole weekend full of camping going on. We're going to have a cornhole tournament and quite possibly a concert up here. And then Saturday is a regular full show, 4 divisions of winged racing. Sunday is 3 divisions of wingless racing, plus the slingshots. And you can hang out here, and I can't really get into the festivities that happen after hours, but
they're fun.
It's a party. we do Indiana right, that's for sure.
Well, we are so appreciative of you coming on and talking about this TV deal, and keep us posted.
Hey.
This is going to be exciting.
You want your racetrack, especially if you're a fan in the Northeast here, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, if you want your racetrack to be live streamed, you have to talk to the racetrack, to the promoters, and say, look, I live in West Virginia. I cannot get to your racetrack. I want it live streamed.
And how do they get?
I will pay for it.
And how do they get in contact with you?
That's it. NRN.TV. Actually, the easiest way to do it for now is nationalracingnetwork.com.
Okay.
Look at that.
Like, we were just talking to guys in Indiana that live in Florida, and they want to watch a track in New Jersey, but they can't at the moment.
Oh.
That's how it works.
We have a sponsor group from here for one of our 125 and 4-stroke drivers. They had 40-some people here a week ago in the parking lot tailgating that flew in from Indiana during sprint week to watch the racing here.
That's how it grows.
That's how you do this stuff. They're in Florida, they're in Virginia, they're in Indiana, and every one of them sends me pictures every week that they're watching the live feed from here. People, if you own a racetrack, you promote a racetrack, you need to get on board with the video. So
there you go.
Hey, cool.
All right.
Now it's time to tear down, start drinking, and enjoy the show.
All right, let's do it. All right. Chris, you want to take us home? No?
No.
Okay.
Your show.
Connor, do you want to take us home?
Scotty. I brought it in.
All right.
Dylan Welch.
On behalf of the NRN network, we appreciate you guys hosting us today. We really had fun doing the pre-race show. Hopefully we can do something like this again. But until now, on behalf of Chris, Connor, myself, Scott, and Rich, we're going to say good night and good racing.
Hey.